In my most recent video, I talked about how active inventory was up 88%. Inventory all over is up. New inventory was also substantially up as well, 28%. A lot of inventory, a lot of things not moving. Yours truly, business is good for me. I'm very lucky in that sense. But for most agents, most buyers, most sellers, there's not a lot of transactions. So in today's video, we're going to take a look at some Toronto condo buildings that have it the worst in a high inventory, high active inventory environment. These buildings above all are struggling with this very fact. Let's not waste any more time. So let's move forward to the video. Best place to start is this building, Festival Condos, 195 Commerce, 225 Commerce in Vaughan. Take a look at this. 142 units for rent. I don't know about you, but that's a lot. And that's even more than the Brad Lamb building I discussed on this channel, with the very same trend. If you're not familiar with these condos, these are the latest buildings in Vaughan, highly sought after at the time of launch. And when you see featured, by the way, these are condos.ca listings. And it's just gotta be crazy to go all through 140, to go through all 140. But, you have some crazy prices, you have some okay prices, a lot of cheap prices. You have a couple of 25 days on market. This one was just listed 21 hours ago. This 1+1 for $2,000 a month. And the units themselves are pretty cookie cutter, I would say. I've seen worse, I'll tell you that. I've definitely seen worse. So they're by no means, some of the worst I've seen. But it leaves a lot to be desired. And the reason you see zero for sale is not because of lack of supply interest. There's a lot of people who would love to go on market right now. You probably see 50, 60 listings. However, they're just not allowed to. And of course, I don't have specific insight into this project. I have never reviewed the APSs, but having done this for a long time, a lot of people reaching out to me, I can tell you with about 90% certainty that the builder is not allowing the people to go on market for sale because the builder themselves have not cleared out their inventory. And when it comes to that, I touch on that topic in one of my most recent videos where I talk about how March was the worst month in the history of the Toronto and GTA real estate market for new condos sold by builders. Only 150 sales. That's awful. Nonetheless, Mankey's is one of my favorites, along with Minto. So I have high hopes in the future for this building, just not now. Another building that's right now struggling with an influx of inventory, a flooding, if you will, is Line 5 Condos. Line 5 Condos, now we're going to Midtown. We're going from Vaughan to Midtown. I talk everything on this channel. Vaughan, Midtown, Etobicoke, North York, downtown. If you want, I'll even talk about Simcoe Condos. All right, I have to relax. By the way, my contact information in the description box, book a call. Anyways, Line 5 Condos, a little bit more modest, 43 units right now for rent on market. The variety here is a bit more. Don't get me wrong, you definitely do have, once again, a lot of inventory. $2,050 a month, $2,100 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 a month, $2,150, $2,250, $2,250, $23. I mean, just to be a tenant right now is to live a dream of options. But do you really want these units? That's the question. This would be really small in person. But once again, these are a lot of for lease listings by a lot of people are unable to close right now and losing a lot of money, which is very sad. It actually is truly sad. And then on the high end, you have like this lower penthouse unit, lower penthouse 2 for rent. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-washroom, asking for $3,980, and it's okay. It's good. Is $3,900 worth it? No, it's only 900 square feet to $999, not including balcony. Let's say balconies are $150. Listen, for $3,900, you can do much better in terms of size and space. It is Midtown, right? It's a very good area, but a little too much if you ask me. Now let's shift to downtown. Another example of what I'm talking about, to a lesser degree actually, is this one. 308 Jarvis Street, JAC Condos in downtown by Greywood. Greywood is a really mixed bag developer, but I'm actually really impressed with JAC. I have a listing for sale in JAC Condos, listed for $628,000. We just had to price reduce. And this is just to show you whatever I talk about on this channel on the buyer side, I'm actually actively working with the buyers every single day, opening up lockboxes, giving market analysis, giving comps, pros and cons, which buildings to go to, which buildings not to go to. And same thing, when I'm sometimes crapping on the market, or not even really crapping, but talking about how there's an oversupply and there's a lot of price reductions happening, I'm not a hypocrite. I'm very consistent and I'm very honest. I have a listing in this building and we price reduced because guess what? A lot of competition, especially for new properties. And this is the building we're talking about here. Once again, JAC Condos, 308 Jarvis. It's not as pronounced. This was a lot worse looking a couple of, I would say, weeks ago, but still 34 units for rent. This is not like a building with like thousands of units. It only has 489 units, and these are 34 for rent. Out of 489 is a lot. It's actually a lot. And this is just 34 on market on MLS. You never know how many on our Kijiji or Facebook and all that jazz. Only 6 for sale. Once again, one of them is yours truly. Hey, since we're on market, I thought I would show you. This is my listing here. We've staged it. We get decent amount of showings. Ever since we price reduced, we've actually gotten more showings. And I was very frank with my sellers, and this is the view. I think it's a pretty great view. I was pretty frank with my sellers. I think what they were looking to sell at and what we're currently listed at is a little bit on the higher end, but hey, that's not their problem, it's my problem. I have to figure out a way to help them. And this is what I want to focus on. The staging we did, and I put it on my channel, more behind the scenes look of the staging we conducted, has helped with getting more people through the door. And this is another item with regards to these buildings. Nothing is really selling. I mean, in this tower, only one unit has sold. Everything else has been terminated. There has been only one sale in the history of this building, and there's a very short history of this building. And this is once again a common theme with all these towers that are experiencing a increase, a supply shock due to the current market conditions and when they're closing. Well, in 888 Yonge Street Condos by MetroView. This is an example of an up and coming one. Once again, a low to mid-rise, so you're not gonna have 150 units for rent and 70 units, 50 units for sale. But this is a situation where the 13 for rent you see, 7 for sale you see, you're like, oh, okay, that's normal, that's normal. It's not, because this is so new that these are just the units that are being delivered. The other units haven't been finished yet. They haven't even done the PDI yet. So you'll see in this building, there will be a lot more inventory coming. And once again, there's a lot of crazy sales, like $1,500 per square foot for a 1-bedroom. I have clients who have been eyeing, this building for a long time. Shout out to you, lovely Vegas boys. Wonderful clients, some of the best clients in the world. And they've been eyeing this building for a long time, and we just decided to go a different direction. We went to down the street, for lack of a better word, to the Minto Water Garden at 7600 Yonge Street, which is also a mid-rise in the same type of category of building, but obviously resale, much more affordable. Prices are all much more affordable, more size, better management, more proven track record. So we went there instead of here waiting for this to finish, and now this has finished. We're seeing a lot of opportunity here in terms of what's coming our way, in terms of the price per square foot. It's just the units are too small. Even though the sellers here are taking massive losses and the inventory will pile up, it's not piling up yet, but this is giving you a little bit of an advanced notice. It just doesn't make sense, once again, for us, when resale, there's much better alternatives out there. And listen, that was just a couple of examples. There's a lot more examples I can go through in Etobicoke, in North York, really a lot of areas of a lot of buildings with a lot of inventory right now due to current market conditions, and especially new buildings just occupying. I thought I would keep it short because I like to talk a lot. Anyways, guys, there's a lot more exciting content coming out. And listen, guys, I really appreciate your time. I really appreciate you watching. As always, the best way you can show your gratitude is to subscribe, comment, and like, and see in what ways I'm able to help. Thank you very much for watching. Stay safe and stay tuned.